יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן.
And all be seated, and the mic is in the center for those who want to approach the mic. It's understandably difficult to speak. While I know there are people who will come to the mic, and while you're making your way to the mic, I want to remind everyone that there is a blog, Remembering Asher, and you can access that at JewishBU.com. And you can put, I'm sorry?
/Asher. /Asher.
JewishBU.com/Asher. And you can use that medium as well to remember Asher. Asher's first cousin, make sure it's on. Hello? Asher's first cousin, Hannah, would like to say something.
I grew up with Asher, and now it's not fair to say goodbye. I have so many wonderful memories with him. It was just a few weeks ago I saw him in motion. It was recently this year that he drove me and my brother home from Englewood. On the way home, he stopped to show us a game of football his brother Joey was playing. He had a strong love for his brothers and family. He cared for everyone. He was one of those special people who are hard to find. He was kind, generous, outgoing, ambitious, and had something really special going for him. I remember whenever we'd walk past someone homeless on the street or someone who needed help, he was always quick to help them or give something. He knew how to relate to all people, from his grandparents to his 10-year-old brother, his friends, and the parents of his friends. He was a role model to me and a gift for all of us. He is something special that we'll always remember, and I know he's with us all today.
As I come to talk about Asher and the tragedy that should never have happened, one memory comes to light above all. I was over at the Strobel house for Yom Tov, and Asher asked if I wanted to play basketball in the back. And I said yes, and my uncle Asher and Arya and I all went to the basketball court in the back. And I, being the worst of the four, was paired with Asher. However, Asher didn't see this. He saw me as an equal, and while we played, he treated me as one. Whenever I had an open shot, even if I was in the back, he always passed to me. He wanted me to feel good, and he encouraged me to take the shot, even though he knew he was the better one. Throughout the game, he always passed to me and gave me opportunities that made me feel that I was a better player, even though we all knew the only reason I was making the shots was because of him. As I come here, I see that this should never happen, and I feel that Asher was a man that we can all learn from. How he lived was a way that we can see. The way he lived was a way we can learn from, and I have to say that as a cousin, this is something that I should never feel and we should never have experienced. Thank you.
Seldom do you come across a person with qualities that Asher possessed. I met Asher after his first year, after his year of studying in Israel at Yeshiva, and we became very close after discussing the mutual friends that we shared in common. Asher was very easygoing, funny, smart, but most importantly, he was a caring person. He knew how much he valued friendship, and he showed it in how he handled relationships. He'd always check up on how you're doing. He'd always be the center of attention at social gatherings. and he would always contribute kosher, delicious dishes to our numerous little kosher meat fiestas. He was also incredibly bright, fun to be around during class. Asher motivated me, at the same time cracked jokes with me, ultimately making class far more enjoyable than it likely would have been. To the Strobel family, my deepest condolences go out to you. Your son was an incredible man who accomplished more in his 21 years than most people do in a lifetime. Although Asher is no longer physically with us, I know he's smiling down upon all of us from Shemayim. Asher, I miss you, buddy. Our time spent together will never be forgotten, and may we all, only from here on in, come together for some time.
Last semester, I was collecting signatures for a petition, and if anybody's ever done this, you know it's like next to impossible with some people. Like they just don't want to give you their name for no reason. And I was having like some difficulty, and Asher came along, and I explained to him what the petition was for. Was to start a group to promote connectedness on campus. He was all about it. He was super excited. And he started pulling strangers off from the sidewalk to come and do the pitch for me and get other people we didn't know to sign his petition. And he got like 5 people in about 2 minutes. And this was one of the last times I saw him. And that's how I'm going to remember it.
I've known Asher. I knew Asher for 2.5 years. I spent my year in Israel with him, Yeshiva Netiv Aryeh, and I've spent a 1.5 years in Binghamton. I watched Asher grow religiously. He was very successful, always with a smile on his face and base, always at his chavrusa on time, even when the year started and none of us really into learning at all. He was there. He was dedicated. It was important to him. Asher was an incredible person. He was. When I think of Asher, I think of 2 main things. One, he exemplified selflessness. He would do anything for anybody else without even knowing. As you see Paul's story and countless other stories. He was also the friendliest guy, one of the friendliest guys I've ever known. This past summer, Asher interned at UBS. First of all, on a separate note, he was an intern at UBS after his first year of college. For those of you who are business or finance, that's unbelievable, incredible. And he did that himself. He went and got that. His ambition showed clearly. I as well worked in the city, not at a firm. Yes, but firm. And every day I would get a text from Asher. What was the text? Jake, let's do lunch. Jake, let's do lunch. When are we going to get lunch? And Asher, I don't know, I can't take off from work. I don't want to upset. Come on, we got to do lunch. I said, fine. 2 weeks. And he finally got me to get up to do lunch. And finally, I met up with him on the corner, 3rd and Lexington. He looks up, he smiles, he goes, Jake, not going to believe this. I said, what? He said, I forgot my wallet. Don't worry about it, Ash, it's fine. So we went to, I believe it was Kosher Delight. It's my health place, whatever.
And I was shocked. Asher was like looking at the side dishes, getting the cheapest thing. I'm like, gosh, it's really fine. Don't worry about it. No, Jake, I'm really sorry. I'm like, crazy? It's fine. Don't worry. So he ordered a meal. Managed to just order a meal. Got a corned beef sandwich. I think. No, I'm sorry. It was a tuna salad. He tried to convince me to get that as well. I didn't, but he tried to convince me. And half the time, he was apologizing to me for forgetting his mom. This is the kind of person he was. Thinking of others. So we had a nice meal. We talked about school management, talked about the future, of course, as he always did. Talked about the Giants, how disappointed we were in them. And fine, that was it. Now, it was very unfortunate for me that Asher forgot his wallet because that meant that he had to take me out for lunch. So I got text, another 2 weeks, Jake, I got to take you for lunch, let's go. And Asher did. He took me out for lunch. I didn't even worry about it. I took my wallet to get my hand away. Don't worry about it, Jake. I got this one. Pay you back. And I didn't realize that at first, so my meal that I ordered was a little bit more expensive. I tried to pay him the difference. He refused to take it. Refused. But he wanted to get it. He was selfless and friendly. This is the type of person he was. As a family, I'm sorry for your loss, but Asher was incredible. Parents done excellent, did a great job raising him. He was a role model to his friends, to his family, to his brothers, to anyone.
I met him last year. I saw him around before, but I never really got to know him until spring of 2010, I think it was. I was a TA for a computer science class that he was taking, and I think like one or two other people that were in that class also. And if anyone knows anything about that, it's that when you're a TA for a class, you don't really like to get to know the people in the class. And they just always send you emails and bother you, and you just want to like do your job and get it over with. But Asher, I just walked in on the first day. He just came up to me and shook my hand, and like from then on, I just knew this was different. Everyone else in the class would just come up to you and ask you like, Ronnie, what's the answer for number one? What's the answer for this? How do I do this? But Asher, he just did everything on his own, and he liked to solve problems by himself and not, get help from others. And it just shows you like his character, what kind of person he is. That, for someone to just carry himself, it showed that he would have had an amazing future and he would have been very successful. And it really pains me to see him grow. And I just hope that this kind of thing never happens to anyone else. It's a terrible thing. And it's really good to see all these people here supporting, showing friends and family, and that's all.
Sorry. A couple years ago, I heard an analogy about how a lot of people live their lives now. And it was a baseball game, it goes for about 3 hours. The actual game is played for about 15 to 20 minutes. They spoke about life, how people live 70, 80 years. but they're always looking forward to, the next biggest event. Now spring breaks in 2 months, I can't wait till spring break. And the whole time, they're missing their life in between. Asher only lived 21 years, but he enjoyed all the time in between, all the free minutes he had with someone, all the walks to class where he would pass somebody, just give them a wave or a smile, as you've all heard. And his ability to just enjoy life, enjoy the simple things, enjoy other people's company is something extremely special that Asher exemplified. One quick story I'll share to illustrate this. It was one of the first times I met Asher. My friend was also visiting. He doesn't go here. And we went out to the bars. Asher was there, having a great time. All of us were having a great time. So it was maybe the second time I met Asher, the first time my friend met Asher. We were with him for maybe 5, maybe 10 minutes. He left. My friend turned to me and was like, "Who is that? That kid's awesome." And that was just like the impression that he left after 5 minutes. And I think, like, from Asher's life, what we can all learn and try and incorporate into our own is to just appreciate all the time that you have here, because you just never know. I'm sorry.
Speaking on behalf of myself, my wife, and my family, I want to thank everybody for coming tonight, especially those who have done the difficult task of talking about Asher. It brings enormous comfort to myself, to my wife, to his brothers, his grandmother, his cousins, his aunt, who are here in attendance, to hear stories about Asher when he was alive and how he touched so many lives. I know every story is a treasure now to me, and I know how difficult it can be to share private feelings, and I really do appreciate it, and so does my wife. I think I just want to leave everyone with one message, and that is to reiterate what's already been said. Think of one quality that Asher had that you really admired, and take that quality onto yourself and live your life in such a way as to improve yourself a little bit by taking that quality of Asher that you saw to be so wonderful and incorporating that into your being. And by doing so, Asher will continue to live on in each of us. So please do that and improve the world. That's what Asher was about. Thank you.